Hello everybody, and this is the review for the Sony Walkman WS615. This is of the 600 series, 615 being a player with built-in, I can't remember the storage, I believe this is 16 gigs, yeah. So, okay, first thing I have to apologize, this review is 9 months late. I got this back in September last year and it's already June 2015, but better late than never, I guess. And I got the good thing is that this review would be because of after 9 months of use instead of a few days, which tends to be the usual case for most reviews. Okay, anyway, let's dive straight into this. Less talking, more review, and let's start with the physical aspects of this player. Now, this is the WS compared to the W series of the Walkman, which looks very similar. This is a little bit bigger. So this is, I believe, the W series would be 3/4 the size. Now, that being said, even though this is a little bit larger, it is not really an issue because it looks very sleek when it's on your ears and behind your head. It makes it look sporty. It doesn't look like there's a big ugly non-futuristic hunk of junk on your ears. I mean, obviously you need the extra space for the battery. Bluetooth uses more power, and the Bluetooth receiver as well. Okay, so, and the design is very nice. I like this in black. It looks very sleek, like I said, and the button placements are very intuitive. Now, these are the buttons. If you don't know what they serve, you can see they have inscriptions over here. So basically, without looking at it, you can tell, oh, after 1 or 2 days you should get used to it. So this is volume mode for playback. This is forward and next and previous, I should say, and pause and play. And you can use this button to pick up calls too, I believe. And this is the most important one. This is power. You press and hold to switch on, and this is Bluetooth for pairing and switching on and off Bluetooth. Switching between it being a Bluetooth player and a media player, which brings me to the other difference of this as well. So whereas the W series Walkman is only a media player, this doubles up as a Bluetooth headset as well. So like for me, I primarily use this for when I'm out on commute with my iPad, so that I can play games on it without wires hanging around, because I take public transport most of the time. I'll be on the bus, I'll be on the train. When you're moving around, people coming up and down, or when you're standing up, you don't want the wires hanging down to your tablet or your phones. Yeah, so this is the physical side of it, and this is a small issue as well, because some of you might say, hey, some of the Bluetooth earpieces out there are really small, but the problem with those is that the battery life is extremely small as well. Those small Bluetooth earpieces, they tend to have 1.5, maybe 2 hours worth of battery life. This easily gets you 4 hours of battery life. So and the way they design it is very sleek, so it doesn't look big, and yet you get 4 hours battery life out of this, which is fantastic for especially if you have a long day with plenty of commutes you need to do, because you're a busy guy and all that. Okay, or you want to go for a 4-hour run, why not, right? So this is inherently water resistant already. It is completely waterproof as well. You can bring this for a swim. All you need to do is switch out for the transparent headbuds, which comes with this. I've not used it to swim, so unfortunately I can't tell you how good it is in the water. However, what I can say is that this is very tight on your ears. I may complain a little bit too tight, which I'll talk about later, but so it would stay on very easily in the water. One thing I heard about switching out this for the underwater earbuds is that it cuts down the volume drastically. So you do need to push up the volume if you're using this when you're swimming. Yeah. Okay, now talking about the tightness of this. For me, I have no problems with the fitting. I guess my head is very big, which is not an indicator of smartness, obviously. Now it comes with a rubber piece for you to tie this at the back should you require it. I have no need for it now, but I do face a little bit of an issue though. I find that this maybe they designed it too well. It goes into my ear quite deep, and I find that sometimes when that happens, even though I don't play the sounds that I play, I don't blast the volume, let's put it that way. I find that after I take it out for the first maybe 5 to 10 minutes, my ears are not as sensitive to the surroundings in terms of volume. And if I do this for multiple days in a row, that means I use this with it very deep into my ear canal for multiple days in a row, I find that it affects my hearing. I find that in conversations I'm asking more often, hey, could you repeat that and all that, everything sounds a little bit softer. So I don't expect permanent damage from this, of course. Now what I do is when I put it on, I make sure it doesn't go in too deep, or what you can do is you could use a larger earbud so that it doesn't go in too deep. So that's more of a usage issue as opposed to a design issue, because yeah, so just something to take note. Okay, now with regards to the sound quality, I have to say I expected more. It's not bad, but it's not great idea. It is okay. If I were to give this a score out of 10, I would give it 6.5, 7. Now interestingly, I tried playing the same MP3 file on the player itself and on my iPhone, and the iPhone stream sounded better than what came through here. Okay, now which tells me that the way they programmed the Walkman here in terms of sound, could be better. But I believe there's an app you can actually use with this to adjust the EQ levels. I've not actually done that yet, but I don't really find a use for it. Not for this anyway. I don't listen to music a lot. I use it to play games, like I said, XCOM on my iPad, XCOM rules. Now, however, I did test with some songs, and I find that it is actually good for very processed kind of music, pop, rock, club, and things like that. They sound very good on this. However, it is very bad, I have to say. I will give it a 4 out of 10 for natural sounds. Okay, if you're more into the classical kind of music, that focuses, instrumentation, classical songs, singing, operas and things like that. This is not a good earpiece for that. Just a heads up, yeah. So that's for sound quality. Okay, 2 things that I just wanted to add. The first thing is, which I found really annoying, is that there is no warning that there is no low battery warning. So what happens is you'll be merrily listening to your music and all that, and when the battery is low, it'll just say low power and it'll cut off immediately. That's it. It doesn't give you a 5 or 10 minutes warning, and I found it very annoying and very abrupt. Right, so it just goes, like I said, it just goes low power and then it just switches off. That's number 1. Number 2, it's not really for you, but it will make you look a bit like an idiot. Let me show you what I mean. So this is what happens when you switch on. Right, the power comes on, there's a green light, and this means that Bluetooth is on. Do you see the problem now? This is going to be on your head as you're walking around with this. And I mean, honestly, even UFOs are less conspicuous. I mean, come on, you don't. There's nothing wrong with indicator lights, but do they have to be that obvious? You know, maybe put the indicator lights down here so that you can see it. You know, the guy behind you. You know, if I guess if you are running, it's fine. But you know, when you're standing up on public transport, when you're in a bus or on a train, you know, the guy behind you, you don't have to keep flashing that poor guy, right? Yeah. So these are two niggles that I have for this player, really. Let's switch this off. Oh, and there's one more thing that you need to take note. I now charge this mostly on an external USB charger. I don't charge this on a computer. I tell you why. Because I find that sometimes it gets stuck in, I guess, USB mode, and there are no switches you can use to get it out. So even though you pull it out of the charger from the computer, you can't switch it on. You know, it happened to me a couple of times. I had to reset it. There's a reset button here which you can push here, right, with a pin. But I didn't want to annoy myself, so what I did was to, you know, what you can do is you transfer all your songs and things like that inside, and after that you charge it with an external charger. So this is a more of a programming issue, something that they've not taken care of. But yeah, now I have another small complaint as well, which is this. This is the charging port, and as you can tell, this is not a USB port. Now I can understand. I'll give them some credit for this. This makes it a lot easier to make the whole thing waterproof, right? If you can control the design of the charging port. However, this means that when you travel or when you're out and about, you can't just, for example, if you have a battery pack for your phone already, you can't just plug this in to recharge as well. You need to bring this along. This is the charging dock. They've done it very nicely, but you know, normally when I charge, I just end up doing this. I don't normally, you know, when it's on the table, it's too lazy. Why do you have to make it nicely? Unless, of course, you're using this to pack into your bags. But anyway, this is an extra thing that you have to carry about. So, you know, I would rather they have this dock with a micro USB port here, at least, so I don't have extra wires dangling around in the bag. You know, I can just throw this into my bag. And especially if like you're an Android phone user, you would already have a micro USB adapter. You don't need to carry you don't need another one of these dangling about in your bags. Yeah. So this is the small complaint I have. If they are not going to put micro USB on this for design reasons, of course, to make it waterproof, it's fine. But I'd rather they have the micro USB port here, and yeah. And it makes it more modular as well. So let's say this cable breaks, so what are you going to do? You have to go back to Sony to buy a new one, as opposed to having a port here with which you can just use any old micro USB cable. Okay, so this is NFC as well, which I don't use, but you know, it makes it easier for you to pair. That's all I know. So in conclusion, this honestly, what I can say that this is a fantastic package. You know, if you're an all-around user, right, you're not a sports fanatic, but you know, you can, even if you're not a sports fanatic, you can use this for everyday use and everyday commute on the buses and stuff like that. The sound quality is good, you know, for most people it will be fine, and it looks good. The battery life is extremely usable at 4 hours. And yeah, so this is a fantastic overall package. And you know, out of a score of 10, I'll give it an 8. Right? Okay. So fantastic little player, fantastic all-around little player. I hope you find it to your liking. Right, so this is Aaron Loy for the review of the Sony Walkman WS615. I hope you enjoyed this review. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to support the channel, use the links provided in the About section below to make purchases. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.